Okay, I am back in Hannah's book, Summer Nights. This is a hardback. It has gorgeous paper. I love the paper. And it is a current Amazon item. And I am going to be working on this crown. I did the flip through, and then somebody requested that I be sure and hit this crown up and do it on a YouTube tutorial. So here we go. Turn that light on. We'll see if it does anything. If nothing else, hopefully it just won't put a shadow on what I'm working on. Now, I did go through and mix like 3 or 4 brands of colored pencils together. So let me start with that. I'm mainly using Castle Art for these. In fact, all but one is Castle Art. But let me start by pointing out a few things. I'm using a very light yellow ivory on the first. Okay. Mine is Naples Yellow Light 73 by Castle Arts. So any light shade. Pale, pale. Then I went to Golden Yellow number 3. So that is this next color. From there, I jumped over to Arteza pencils and did 64, and it's a yellow ochre. So anything that's got that yellow in it and it's just starting to go into the gold. Okay. Then I jumped back to Castle Art for the rest of these. I did Yellow Ochre Light, which is number 10. You do not have to have this many pencils. If you're really good at blending, you could probably do every other pencil from what I'm doing. Then I did number 12, Cinnamon. But I did lots of colors, just assuming that y'all wouldn't be as good blending, because I want to gear towards the beginner. Brown Ochre, 115, and not leave anybody behind on this video. Okay. And then Walnut Brown, number 117. All right, before I get into doing that, let's look at the differences here. I'm going to do some of the colored pencil. Now, everything that is done all the way across is done with one shade of a glitter gel pen. Okay. And then I did this, and this little ruffled area here and here. Then the part that's not done all the way over, like the green, is a different color gel pen. I was trying to find a way to keep my gel pens separate because they're not really numbered as such, and some of them are different brands and some are not. Then I have a gold that I used here, and then I have a different gold that I outlined with. So when you get to the little intricate parts of your pictures, you look through, do little scratch tests on paper, see what colors you like, and you go from there. So the main thing I want to show you is how to make gold with several different colored pencils. And again, if you need paper to just practice on to make sure they blend, here's an old swatch I did with Crayola. I did Harvest Gold, then I did Tan, and then Copper, or that may be Harvest, and then Gold, then Tan, Copper, Light Brown, Brown, and Dark Chocolate Brown. And then here it is again this way without the copper in it. So evidently I figured I didn't need the copper as much. So, and you can pause and write all that down anytime you need to. But I'm just telling you, you can make things look like gold by just using your browns, yellows, creams, and your yellowy brown, yellow ochres, your Naples, things like that. So I'm going to start with my lightest, and I'm going to continue coming from here And this really doesn't show up much, but it gives you something to blend into. Okay, so that's why you go ahead and do all those little bits, because it's not a white. There is a little bit of pigment or color in this pencil. Now you can tell I'm not going around each one of those because my gel pens adhere to it, so I'm not worried about it. Okay, now as you're going across here, you want to make sure that you can get all your colored pencils in there. So I have what, seven colored pencils. If I line them up, they take up just about that much space. So I know each pencil can go about the width of a pencil. But I'm going to let these go a little wider and these a little smaller, because these are at the edge where it wraps around. And these are in the front where you would see it head on. So let's just take the next pencil. So this is pencil color number 2. So whatever your second pencil is, and you can see I'm coming into that first pencil, overlapping. And as I've stated before, generally when you're doing something like this, you want to do both sides at the same time so that you're sure your overlap is the same. Now I can come back in here and see I'm going all the way to the edge, so I will go all the way to the edge with this. And there was something there, I'm not sure what that is. Looks like a little piece of brown from when I sharpened the pencil, but it came up, so that's fine. So see, I came on over with that, over to here, so let's go over to here and get that in. And I'm not going to worry about all this right now because you're going to repeat on here everything that I do up here. So now going to the third pencil. So whatever your third color is, mine is yellow ochre, and I'm looking on here and it looks like it's all the way to the end of the second one, and it might be lighter there, and then it'll get heavy as I come over and blend. All right, going to start out lighter and then get heavier and then lighter again, because you want that to blend in. And if you go heavy the whole way, it's not going to. You've got to let up on your pencil some. And if I think I came over further in one than the other, I can just come back over here and pull it over a little more. Because where the white, or that lightest one, let me look, Naples yellow light, is going to really show up is right through the center area in here. So I could bring this yellow even further in. Okay, this was just a jumping off point for me to try things out before I started the video. Now next, I had the yellow ochre light, number 10. So I'm looking over here, and it's probably right in here. So here coming in, then getting lighter as they overlap. And I didn't even do up here this time. I'm just one section at a time, because this is a lot of pencils. And again, you don't have to use this many pencils. If you can get the same effect with like 4 pencils, go for it. Seriously. But if you've not done this before, you may find it a little easier the first time or two to go ahead and use quite a few pencils, because you're not blending from, it's like going, we've talked about going up the ladder into the attic. It's going to get darker and darker. This is darker and darker, and you don't want to skip any steps or you might fall. So you don't want to skip too much, because you don't want to end up with a failed picture. Okay, lighter there, getting heavier, and then lighter as I blend in again. And see, there we've got a nice blend. So take your time with it. I don't have right in front of me who had requested this. I'm going to probably also do the pocket watch that's in this book, and I will probably do it with golds also. So yeah, this won't be the only thing. I know that golds are sometimes hard for people to learn to do, so I'm trading to my 6th color. So I will be doing that again. And probably in the next one, I will possibly only use like 4 or 5 colors instead of quite so many. Now see, we've gone from light to dark, but we're not finished yet. So if anything looks splotchy to you, don't stress over it. Don't stress. I come through here. And we follow the exact same thing all the way across every row. Back to my very lightest color, that Naples yellow light. And I'm going to come in here and blend everything from light to dark. This, by going over even the darker colors, this will finish sinking the color down into the tooth of the paper, and it will brighten up some of these browns to where they're not quite so dull and give them a bit of a yellow cast so it looks a little more gold. So, all right, so I've done across here, but I didn't do here yet. So can you see a little bit of difference even just right there? It's not a huge difference, no. And I don't want it to be just a really big difference. I want it to be just enough that it looks more natural and fluid going across there. Okay, so just getting that blended really nice. Okay, and now you can see it goes from dark to the light to the dark again. Do the same thing on all of this. I'm actually going to make my yellow come in a little further there. So I'm going to come back up here and add a little bit of that yellow. Just squish that yellow in there. All right, that's second color, third color. And now that we've got one section done, we can just make sure our colors line up. You know, the first time I was looking and saying how far over did I go. Now it'll be easier just to line them up. I did the gel pens last night before bed so that I could walk away from them and know that I wouldn't mess them up by dragging my hand through them. So that's just a little tip, just to make sure that your gel pens are dry before you start dragging your hand all over the page like I'm doing now. Because you certainly don't want to drag a gel pen color across. Now, to make all this really pop, and because there's stars here, I could do that whole background in a darker color. Now, question, and I will answer it in this video. What color background would you do knowing that there's brown and yellow and green in here? Okay, I want you to think on that for a minute. And then we're going to grab the color wheel. The color wheel that I'm going to show you is available on Amazon. It is also available currently It's an item in stock at Joann Fabrics, and they go on sale pretty regularly at Joann's as a quilter's item. So that's when I get mine, because I have several, yes. All right, let me stand up here. So you're just going to repeat this down that whole page, whatever colors you pick. And again, there's a pocket watch on this page, and I will come back and do that too. Probably. Okay, so we know we have this green. Okay, it's a mix between these two. All right, so I'm going to put my finger there. We know we have some of these yellows, and we have some of these browns. So I'm going to put my fingers there. Now, if I went with a black background, we would lose some of this along the edges. Let's use the color wheel. Is there one where it says 3 colors? Yes. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to flip it to here. See where it says the green and the orange? Purple would be the 3rd color. Orange triangles here are what we're looking at. Don't worry about the star. That star goes with this triangle. Now, the other thing I'm looking at is yellow is my primary color, and what's across from it? Purple. So that tells me right there, if I'm going to add a background on here, it's going to have a lot of purple in it. Okay? And I would stick with these purples. I would not lean towards a blue purple. I would not lean towards a fuchsia purple. I would stick with this purple. So I will probably do that. In fact, I may finish this up before I video anything on this one. And just to show you, I can't remember if I showed you before or not. Here's one I finished. She had a nose ring when we started. I'm still learning how to white out the stuff on a page. Let's see, where's the other one? There was another one, wasn't there? Maybe it's in the other book. Yeah, there's another one, but it's in the other book. So, anyway, when we come back next time, I will try to remember to show you this one. And we will work on doing the, there she is, we'll work on doing the pocket watch. Here's the other one that I worked on. She also had a nose ring. So as you can tell, I am getting a little bit better at these. This one is not totally painted. And I did end up buying some other markers, some gel pens rather, and a Sakura paint pen. So I will try those on some other paper first before I just jump into the book, because I think there's one more in here with a nose ring, or maybe it's in the other book that I can play with, because there's even some of those other books by other artists where they have added little things in the pictures, and maybe you don't want those and you want to learn how to white them out, so that's what that'll be good for. But anyway, thanks for sticking through to the end of the video with me. And yeah, if you're in coloring books, keep it clean. You know that for May, we are doing something that is monochromatic. So one color through the whole page. And I've given examples of that in some of my old videos. So, all right, again, here's the color wheel I use. It's by Rainbow. And I want to say, is it EK Success that makes this? I'm not for sure. There's some more information on it. But again, this is Joann's, and you can get it at like 40 off, sometimes 50 off when they have their quilting aids and supplies on sale. So that's when I would get one if you have a Joann's close by. If not, you can get it off Amazon. You can get them on eBay. You can get them in different places. I just go for the cheapest route I can so that I can have more stuff. So, and as you can tell, I have a couple. One is usually in my to-go kit with coloring, and then one's here on my art and scrapbooking table, and then I keep one with my painting. So anyway, it's a cool little tool. Okay, well, that's it for this time. I will see you again in just a few more days. All right, thanks for stopping by.